Now, obviously in summer it would be way more interesting to be here, but it's still lovely. I just want to go around and show you the facilities that the municipality here in Siemiatyczne has created for residents and visitors. We can see that everything has been taken care of into the fine details here around this little lake. I'm sure you can swim in some places in summer. Platz is above, it's the playground. And yeah, it doesn't look very inviting right now, but in summer it's lovely and green, and for sure you have very hot summers here as well. So you would have a fantastic time just lounging around in the city of Siemiatyczne. Believe me, and what I really like is how everything is taken care of and polished. Keep in mind I just came from Bulgaria, where the use of such public funds is not done correctly, and here we see that things are just of a different league. See, you can play music here, all these little things that you just... Anyway, I guess this is great for the kids. You can jump around here, I suppose. Let's try this as well. Oh, sorry, goes. Yeah, it goes pretty. It's a bit scary. Oh yeah, that goes really deep, and you can just jump here. Not gonna do it too much. It's for the kids. But what else can you do here in Siemiatyczne? As a kid, when you come around vacation, this is lovely. I remember I played around in these play yards a lot as a kid and just had a fantastic time. On a summer day when my parents were just having a chat by themselves by the lake, and just... I spent a lot of my vacations in Central and Eastern Europe because we always had an interest in these countries. It's not for no reason that I'm here. In general, these countries are very child friendly, and back in 2004 when we made our first trip to the Czech Republic, that was still a border or a frontier you didn't just cross. It sounds very strange nowadays, but back then the Czech Republic was, and also Poland, not common at all as a tourist destination at all. And when it speaks a lot about the ignorance of people in general, but it was a different time as well, and nobody really went here. And still, if you go to Poland, Dutch people will say, "Oh, why? Well, what are you doing there?" And unless they've actually been, they wouldn't know what to expect, let's say. But in these times, 2004, I was always a very curious kid, and I once just went to a bookstore and I bought a small tourist guidebook about the Czech Republic, and I said, hey, well, maybe we should go here. And my mom and dad, they looked for a trip, and we just went by car. And I remember we crossed the border and it was a bit outdated, everything, but then we went to our first city, which was Karlovy Vary, which is a sort of spa town, and we were immediately sold. It was absolutely marvelous. And I realized, or I remember my dad was speaking with another tourist from somewhere else, I think Germany, and my dad speaks fluent German. We all do, actually, just from school. And I remember the German guy said, well, still a lot of work needs to be done here, but they're on a good way. And that's the Czech Republic. Obviously has nothing in common with where I'm walking right now. But even these 20 years ago, we saw that, oh, people are really starting to fix all of these countries from 30, 40 years ago, how it was. Even 20 years ago, you start to see noticeable differences. And look at all of this now. Such parks with all of these facilities. You will not find this in the Netherlands. Here you can adjust the seat, I think. How does this even work? So you can adjust I think the chair to sit more to the front. I'm not gonna... Yeah, well, I'll just leave it as it is, but you can play chess here, and all of this in, I don't know, another place would be covered in filth and graffiti in a very short time. And you can just lounge around here. But even these 20 years ago, I remember we went to the Czech Republic, and then for one day we crossed into Poland. So my first visit to Poland was from the northern Czech Republic, and we went for one day to Slovakia. That's where we went. We spent a couple hours there, walked around, had an ice cream. It was very pleasant, and nature was really good, and we went back. Next year we went to Slovakia in 2005, and that was a true frontier Slovakia. So we crossed from Austria to Slovakia. Immediately we saw all of the old cars still driving, the Ladas. We saw a Lada without a wheel that flew off, and a woman crying by the side of the road and her husband trying to fix it. That's what I remember first moment we drove into Slovakia 20 years ago. We drove to Senec, which is next to Bratislava, and we had an ice cream, and I remember it cost like 5 cents converted. They had no euro back then. It cost like 5 cents, I think, just a cone of ice cream. And we spent a lovely holiday in Senec there by the lake. Looks a bit like this, honestly. Quite good. And we went to restaurants. It was all very nice. People were friendly. And at that point my mum, she had her birthday. It's in summer. And my brother asked me, what should we get for mum's birthday? And I said, I don't know. I know they like to drink. And for us, drink was just drink. So if it's a bottle, it should be good, right? So we had no idea what's the distinction between wine. My parents like wine. That's all they like. But my brother thought, well, drink is drink, and he just went into the local super, and he brought like a liter of vodka, took it to the cash register, and he walked out with this bottle, and he said, "Happy birthday, Mum," while we were drinking coffee on the terrace. And my brother was 10, so and he got this bottle, just walked out. It was pretty strange. It was a strange time. You could buy entire tracksuits in the local clothing store for €2, a whole full tracksuit. And we went back in 2008, which is 3 years later, and suddenly they had a euro. In 2008, the euro came to Slovakia, and at that point, the same ice cream that was once 5 cents cost €2. There we go. And all of the old cars were gone, just like that. In the blink of an eye, all the old buses that I was absolutely fascinated by, the Tatra buses, the Icarus buses, everything was gone. 3 years later, we came back. We absolutely still had a fantastic time. We saw things improving noticeably, because that's what it's all about, right? It's not that we should come for this nostalgia where we get to see, this is very exotic because they drive old cars. No, I want to see people prosper and do well everywhere, and I'm glad that that's the case for all of these countries. But nonetheless, I really have to say that these old times, even just 20 years ago, left a very profound impression on me, because it was also very different. All was completely strange and new to us, and despite that it was very interesting, it was completely safe. People were friendly, hospitable, and we had a marvelous time. I remember my dad and mom, they were sitting by the fountain in some Slovak town, and we were just playing by the fountain, and the square was renovated. It was absolutely beautiful, warm fountain, and we were just walking, jumping around as kids. Were completely happy. And my parents completely happy. They were just all of those trips to Slovakia, Czech Republic, and the day trip to Poland were just trips of a lifetime. Now, we haven't dedicated a single trip to Poland despite that we really liked the region. We went to Hungary as well. We always brought our bikes in the car, so we were just cycling across along the Danube River from Slovakia to Hungary, just adventurous trips. The border was just opened then in 2007, and the border post was just lying there, newly abandoned. You could just walk through it, look around. All the documents were still there. It was awfully strange. But went to Hungary as well, but never to Poland separately, because I guess it just never happened. For some random reason, we just eventually after 2010 we started going to Sweden. We did some other stuff, and eventually we left home, my brother and I, because we were adults. So then the kids' vacations were pretty much over. But I spent a month of solo travel in Poland in 2013, and my parents only started rediscovering it, in a sense, when my brother and I, the kids, left home. And my dad asked me, hey, you always do these awesome trips, can you organize us something anywhere, anything fun for mom and myself? And I said, yeah, I'll look something up. And I found a flight for them to Gdansk from the Netherlands for some ridiculous price, low. And I said, you'll travel by train, you'll go to Malbork, you'll go explore the castle. You'll take whatever train you like, whatever hotel you like randomly. You just take your backpack and you fly back from Poznan. And the two of them, they had a fantastic trip. They absolutely loved it. They loved Gdansk, obviously, but also Torun, Poznan. And they sort of fell in love with Poland at that moment. And they said, oh, Poland is absolutely fantastic. They like the way things look, the food, everything. And they went again. I planned a trip for them where they flew to Warsaw, where they'd never been before. And they got back from Gdansk, and the two of them, they just got around using Google Maps to check the trains, take random trains, find a hotel and stay there. Again, they had a fantastic time. So when I eventually decided, hey, I'll move from Bulgaria to Poland, they're obviously also quite happy, because they like coming here, and they said, oh, it will be great because we'll get to go to Warsaw again to see you. And they were very impressed by the food. My dad has a favorite wine bar in Warsaw, which is also awesome. And in general, they like it more than where I was staying in Bulgaria, just because of the quality of everything, in a sense. As I'm walking around here, I'm passing the biblioteca, which is this sort of lamp-like structure, and what we see is books all around here. You can just take a book. It's staying dry in winter. Isn't this fabulously thought out? You take your book and you're reading.